the testimonial section. So let's get into the HTML, and I'm going to comment this out. Testimonials. I'll save that, and so we're going to start by using I'll use the section tag with a class of testimonial. Testimonials. I'll create a class of container. So here we have I'll copy this. Just go to the top, and I'm going to copy this part. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to copy this part now. Because we're using the same header with this section, the block section. So I'll go to the block section, I'll copy the top right here, copy that, and I'll go back to the testimonial section, I'll paste that here. So I'm going to change this to testimonials. I'm going to change this to what our client says. So I'll go underneath the container, create a div with a class of boxes, with a class of grade. In that, I'm going to create a div with a class of box, and I'll create an image tag. The source will be img quotes. I'm going to save that. I'm going to include the class of quotes in the image class of quotes. I'm going to save that as well. Check that. Okay, this is the image right here, which is this image. So now I want to create a test in the box. I'm going to copy this. We'll create the first one, and then we'll copy that. I'm going to paste. Okay, I'm going to use a div for this. Just wrap it up with a div. I'll just wrap it up with a div like that. I'll save. And underneath the div, I want to use another div. And I'll create a div with a class of inner left inner image. The source will be img, will be images / testimonial 1, images / testimonial 1. Underneath this, this is the image, but I want to create a test at the right, which I'm going to use the class of right dot right inner. We're going to use the class right inner, which h4 Alex Green. Alex Green. I'm going to use the small tag and write Microsoft. I'm going to save that. So this is it. So we'll style this up and we'll copy that into 3 places and we'll change that. But first, let's just copy it. I'll copy the box. Just paste that. I want to change this to testimonial 2 and see if the image is going to change. Still using the same image, testimonial 2. Okay, the testimonial 2 doesn't have an image. Oh, we have to change that back to testimonial 1. Testimonial 1. Okay. I want to change the name of this to John Milley from Apple. Just change that to John Milley, John Milley from Apple. And we have Paul. I'm going to change this to Paul from Google. So I'm just going to save that and get into the CSS and style that up. For the CSS, I'm going to first, I want to change the background color to this purple. So for the CSS, I'll go to this blog where we'll copy the HTML. I'm going to copy the CSS in this blog as well, and I'm going to change some things just to make it faster for us. I'm going to change some things. I'll paste it and I'll change the blog class, the blog ID. Oh, so for that, go back. I change it to class, to testimonial. Testimonials. I'll delete this and I'll change the background color to this, purple. Save that. Testimonial. Coming. Change this to dots. Testimonial. And I'm going to delete some of these. I'm going to delete all these. I'm going to delete all these. I'll save that. Okay, that is the only thing we need right there. This heading is the only thing we need. So this is grade. Testimonial, then a grade. What's happening? Oh, shit. Testimonials. Change this to A. Made a mistake there. I'm gonna save that. And then we have this. So that is working. I want to change the text, the color of this text to white, which is the H1 here. Color, I'm going to change that to white. Save that. I'm going to change the H4 also to white. H4 color. I'm going to change that to white as well. So that's working fine. So now I want to change the grade for these. I want to make these grade as well. So I'm going to okay, this is testimonial. Say testimonial container. I want this to be container. Save. Okay. Now I'm going to copy the container. I'll copy these, paste it here for the head test and the button. That is for this head test. Now I want to change these to 3 layers of grid, 3 columns of grid. I'll say testimonial, and I want to get a box, this grade, testimonial boxes, dot boxes. Wanted to display grade. So I'm going to use the grade template column, but now I want it to repeat itself. I want it to stack on each other when it gets to a certain width. So I'm not going to use the auto. I'm not going to use the auto. I'm going to use the repeat. Then I'll say auto fits main mass. The main mass will be 250, which is the main weight, should be 250. And mass weight will be 1 fraction. I'm going to save that. And it starts on each other. Don't worry, we're going to start that up. I want to justify these space between grade gap I want the grade gap to be 1.5 rem. I'll save that. Now we can't really see the grade gap because of this image stacking on each other. So now I want to style each columns. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start a quote. Let me start a box first before we start a quote. Start a box, testimonial dot box. I want the background color for that to be white. Background color white pattern. I want it to be 30 pixels. And the border radius, I want it to be 10 pixels. The border radius 10 pixels. Now it's way bigger because of the image. And it kind of look cool. It kind of look cool despite it being bigger. So I want to just change the weight of the image before doing anything else. I'll just take testimonial dot box image. Okay, I want to start the left image first. Inner img. So we're going to start this first. The image here, this left image, which is this, the one at the left. So now I want that, I want the weight to be 50 pixels. I want it to float to the left. The background color, I want that to be EEE. I want the padding to be 5 pixels. I want the border radius, I want that to be 50%. I'm gonna save that. Now it's looking good. Oh, this should be in a container. It seems this is not in a container. Pretty bad. Let me check. Yep, this should be in a container. Wait, I'm going to remove the container for this. The ND for that, I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to shift this to the top. I'm going to shift this, coming, and just end that and shift it to the top. Don't know why it's not shifting, but let me just open it back, and I'm going to end it with another div right here. Oh, what? I'm going to end it with another div right here. I'm going to save that, and it should shift itself because I'm using Predia. So now it should be in a container. I'm using this container to wrap everything up. So now it should be, yeah, now it's in a container. What's up? What's happening? So far so good. I want the testimonial, the quote, testimonial. I want the box, the box that quote. I want the margin from the top to be 30%. Margin top, I want that to be 30 pixels rather. Yeah, I want it to have a little bit of space from the top. I want to style the, okay, I want to style these H4 something. Yeah, the H4 and the P tag. I want to style that. I'm going to use the testimonial. That box P. I want the line height to be 30 pixels, and I want the font size to be 14 pixels. I'll just save that. Line height 30 pixels, font size 15. Let me just say, I want to start is H. Change the color of this, which should be H4, right inner. Testimonial. That box H4. I want to remove the line height from that. Line height will be 0. And the margin bottom will be 10 pixels. I'll save that. And I'll target the small test, testimonial. That box, small. And I'll say line height. I want that to be 25 pixels. Save that. Change the color for this. Change the color for this to this black. Save. Let me check. Now right. One this is way up than I think. Okay. Maybe we're not targeting the right box. Inner right. Just copy that. Box dot inner right. Yeah. Okay, let's leave the line height first. Let's remove that. Let's take that back in and want the margin. So I want to start the inner right. So I want to shift this to the center and push it a little bit to the left. So I'm just going to write out here, testimonial box dot right inner. I want that to display inline block. Display inline block. I want the margin left. I want that to be 30 pixels. Border. No, sorry. Margin left 15 pixels because 30 pixels will be too much. I want the margin left to be 15 pixels. And I want the margin top to be 0. The margin top, I want that to be 0. Save. Now we have it right where we want them. So this should be close to each other. Okay, it seems this is affecting the top grade, is also affecting the bottom grade. Seems that is affecting each other. I have to change this to head. I'll copy this head and I'll change this to head. Change this to head and I'll save that. Now it's working fine. So this is not affecting this anymore. So now it's working fine. If we go way, see it stacks on each other when it gets to a certain point. So now want to create the pricing section. So guys, let's create the HTML for the pricing section. So we're going to create the pricing section now. So let's go into the HTML first. Now comment this out. We use the section tag. And we use the ID of pricing and the class of pricing as well. Going to use the container class, container, and then we're going to use an head test class. The head test will have an h4 with pricing, with the test pricing. The h4 we're going to include a class, the class of subhead. After that, we have an h1 with the test of our simple price. I'm gonna paste that here and save. So I want to go underneath the edge test and create boxes, and so I'm going to use a div with a class of boxes, and a class of grid. Then we have the class of box, the class of box1. So I'm going to create an H3, which is this H3. I'm going to write that here, this. Then we have an H1, which is the price, which is $9. Then we have a P with a class of content, with a class of content. And in that P tag, we have another P. And we want that to be times 5. We want the P tag to be in 5 places. So I'm going to use times 5. And then this will be lorem, financial, and the next one will be management, and the next one will be, let me just scroll this up so you can see. The next one will be social media. The next one will be growth. The next one will be financial reports. I'm going to save that. And I'm going to copy the box one, the class box one. I'm going to paste it in 2, which will make it 3. I'm going to change this to optimum, this to optimum. The price will be 24. And I'm going to leave the rest content the way they are. I'm going to change this to premium. The price will be 99. Now leave the rest content the way they are. I'll save that. And let's check what we have here. And this is it on a straight line on a row. So now I want to style the CSS. First, I want to comment this out. This is the pricing. Save that. And first, we want to start with a so this will be dot pricing. Gonna get a class. Sorry for that. So I want to change the background color for that. The background color for that to F6, F6, F1, F6. No, that's not what I want to use. F1, ED, F1, ED. So this is the color I want to use. So next I'm going to target a pricing dot H dot add test. I want that the weight to be 100%. I want to align the test to the center. I want to align the test to the center. So the test is in the center. So first I want to target I want to start the H4, add test H4. I want the color for that to be this. So now I want to style the boxes. These boxes, I want to style the boxes. So we have that pricing dot boxes. Now I want that the weight to be 100%. I want the grid template column to be repeat, auto, fit, and I want the main to be 250 pixels and the mass to be 1 fraction. Save that. And I would want to justify content space between. I want the gap. I want the gap to be 2 rem. Box sizing. I want that to be border box. And that's it. I'm going to save. Okay. So I want to give the box, each box, I want to give them a background color with white, which is white. So I'm going to say pricing dot box first background. The color should be FFF. Want the test to be aligned to the center. So I'll say test aligned center. Border. I want the border radius to be 15 pixels. And I want the padding to be 20 top, 20 pixels right, 40 bottom, 20 left. And I'm going to save. Now you can see. So the next thing we have to do, we want to make this background, want to make a shadow in which when you override, there's this shadow effect from the background, as you can see. So the shadow, want to make that with an over pseudo class, and I'll just copy the shadow. It's a really pain to type that out. I'm not really good at typing fast that much, so copying will be much better for me. So as you can see, the effect is right there. So next I want to style the P tag. So I will say that pricing, target a pricing box P. I want the font size to be 15. The line height, I want that to be 15 as well. So I want to start the H1, which is the pricing, the price itself, the amount of the price. So I'll say pricing, that box, H1, and I want the margin bottom, margin top to be 0. I want that to be 0. So now, we should include a button in the box. There's no button here, so we have to go back to the HTML. I'll go back to the HTML and I will include a button under the content p tag, the class content. I'm going to include a button tag. We start. Now, save that. I'll copy this. I'll paste it here and here. I'll save that as well. So I want to change this button to a white color. This color, like this color, I want to change the button to that color. So I'll come to the CSS and we have the pricing dot box 8 button, and I'm going to add a margin top. I want the margin top to be 15 pixels, and I want the background color to be this E, and I want the color itself, the color of the text, to be this orange color. I'll save that. Now I want to create an over effect using the over pseudo class, and I'll change the color to white, FFF, and this color to this. The background color I'll change to this, and the color I'll change to white. So when we over, oh, sorry, the background colors should be this. Copy that and paste it here. So, but I want this master, the one in the center, I want it to have the same color with this, the standard color. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. And this will be box 2. Let's change that. This will be box 2 in the HTML. Sorry, box 2. And this will be box 3. This will be box 1. Save that. And for the box 2, I want the main color, this, I want it to be the color, and I want the background color, I want it to be this. So the difference, see, I want this to be the color and the background color to be this for this. So I want to change the over. Whenever we over it, I want it to change to this, to the main color of this. So I'll just copy that and I'll paste it here, and I'll include the pseudo class over. Remove this. I'll remove this as well. Okay, I'll remove these. We don't need those. Save that, and I'll change these to EE, and these I'll change to the orange color. So now when we overheat, it changes to this color. See? So that is for the pricing section. The next section now is the contact section. So now we're going to create the contact section. We have I'm going to comment this out. Contact, save that. So for the contact, I'm going to first, we have the ID section. We have the section with the ID of contact and the class of contact. So then we have the class of container with the class of grade. We have a div with the class of left. In that, we have H4 with the class of sub head. Subhead. Here we have contact. So in that, after that, we have these H1. The H1 will be here, and it will be get in touch. Get in touch. After that, we have the form tag. I'll just remove this action. We're not sending it to anywhere, so there's no need for that. In the form, we want the input. The type will be test, the name will be name, and the ID will be name. And then we include a placeholder. With the test name. I'll copy this and I'll paste it here underneath, and I'll change the test to email, the name to email, the ID to email, and the placeholder to email as well. So after that, we have our test area. This will be message. The name will be message. The ID will be message. The placeholder will include a placeholder. The placeholder will be message as well. I'll save that. And underneath that, we need a button. I'll use the class button with the test submit. Save that. Underneath the left, you create this image. Underneath the left div, we have another div with a class right and the class main image. So we have the tag we use the tag img, which is for the image, and the source will be images slash section 5, and we save that, and let's check. Okay, this is it. We're going to style that. So let's go to the CSS and start styling it. So I will comment this, the contact. First one, the contact. Contact, and then container. I want to create the grade first, grade template, columns. I want the contact form, I want that to be 40%, and the image, I want that to be 60%. So I want to justify contact, space between. I want grade gap, I want to give it a gap. I want that to be 3 rem. I'll save that. You can see. So now we'll style the H4 and the H1. Contact. That's left. H4. I want the color for that to be this. Save that. For the H1, I want to change the margin top. Margin top, I want that to be 20 pixels. Save. Now it's looking better. So now I want to style the form itself. So I'll just say contact, form, input, contact, form, text, area. So I want to style both together. I want the weight to be 100%. The height, I want that to be 40 pixels. Padding, I want that to be 10 pixels. And the border, I want that to be 1 pixels solid. 1 pixel solid with the color of BD, BD, BD. So I'll save that. Let's check, okay. So I want to remove the outline. I want that to be 0. I want the margin bottom. I want the margin bottom to be 15 pixels. And the border radius, I want that to be 3 pixels. Now save. It is way bigger. let's say, let's change the height to 20. Okay, let's change the height to 20. And I want to start the test area itself, contact, form, and the test area. I want the height to be 100 pixels. Let's save. Let's see here. It's looking good now. I want this button to come down a little bit like this. So I'll just say, just contact, form, button, margin, top. I want that to be 20%, 20 pixels. And the image dot contact, image, img. I want the weight to be 100%. Save. Now it's looking good, but it is a little bit bigger than. Okay, I want to include box sizing in this box. Oh, box sizing, sorry for that, box sizing. I want that to be border box. Now just save. And I'll make this 40. Now it's looking more better. So after that, I want to create the newsletter. Let's go back to the HTML. So watch the next tutorial. I'm going to link that below, or I'm going to put it at the board at the top. I'm going to add that there so you can just watch it for you to complete this website. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe below if you haven't yet, and give this video a thumbs up if you really want it. And thanks. Watch the next video to complete the tutorial.